Australia 101. Everything you need to know to be Australian.
Language, culture and etiquette. Australians are very down to earth and mindful of not giving the impression that they think they are better than anyone else. They value authenticity, sincerity, and loathe pretentiousness. Australians prefer people who are modest, humble, self-deprecating and with a sense of humour. They do not draw attention to their academic or other achievements and tend to distrust people who do. Australians place a high value on relationships.
Local culture. The culture of Australia is a Western culture derived primarily from Britain but also influenced by the unique geography of the Australian continent. The diverse input of Aboriginal, Torres Strait Islander and other Oceania people. The oldest surviving cultural traditions in Australia, which are actually some of the oldest surviving traditions on Earth, are those of Australia's Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Their ancestors inhabited Australia for between 40,000 and 60,000 years and they lived a hunter-gatherer lifestyle. The boomerang and didgeridoo, which were invented by Aborigines, are to this day iconic symbols of the country. Australians are generally laid back, open and direct. They say what they mean and are generally more individual and outgoing than other cultures. More than 3/4 of Australians live in cities and urban centres, mainly along the coast.
A multicultural society. The initial population of Australia was made up of Aborigines and people of British and Irish descent. After World War II, there was heavy migration from Europe, especially from Greece, Italy, Germany, the Netherlands, Yugoslavia, Lebanon, and Turkey. This was in response to the Australian policy of proactively trying to attract immigrants to boost the population and workforce. In the last 30 years, Australia has liberalised its immigration policy and opened its borders to Southeast Asia. This has caused a real shift in self-perception as Australians begin to redefine themselves as a multicultural and multi-faith society. Clothing. Australian local dress styles are different from Australia's fashions. Dress has been influenced by the experience of living in rugged countryside, as well as participating in modern leisure activities such as swimming, surfing and beach culture. This is reflected in different fabrics, such as moleskin and drill cotton, developed for more practical wear. Today, lifesavers wear long-sleeved tops or wetsuits and sun hats, as do children, as protection from the sun. In response to the beach experience, board shorts, singlets, colourful shirts and thongs have been adopted as part of a national dress code by both males and females.
The Australian language. Australian English is the country's official language and is the first language of the majority of the population. Australian English differs from other varieties of English in vocabulary, accent, pronunciation, grammar and spelling.
Customs and etiquette. Australians are generally not formal. It's common to shake hands and Australians would normally just use first names to introduce people. Gifts are exchanged at birthdays and Christmas. Gifts are usually opened when they are received, in front of the gift giver. It's hard to picture Australian life without thinking about the good old Aussie Barbie while holding a cold one in your hand. When invited to someone's house, it's polite to phone ahead to see if the host or hostess would like you to bring anything else. Always arrive on time if invited to dinner. Table manners are Western. Hold the fork in the left hand and the knife on the right while eating. Indicate you have finished eating by laying your knife and fork parallel on your plate with the handles facing right. Keep your elbows off the table and your hands above the table when eating.
Religion. While Australia has a strong tradition of secular government, religious organisations have played a significant role in public life. Christian churches, in particular, have played an integral role in the development of education, health and welfare services. While less than a quarter of Christians attend church weekly, around a quarter of all school students attend church-affiliated schools, and the Christian festivals of Easter and Christmas are public holidays. The Roman Catholic Church is by far the largest non-government provider of health and education services in Australia.
Courtesy. It is polite in Australia to shake someone's right hand when you meet him or her for the first time. Australians tend to be fairly informal in their everyday interactions, and it is common practice to call someone by their first name only. You can address someone by their title and their family name, but this is considered unnecessary and overly formal for most situations. People do, however, tend to be more formal in business and professional situations.
Australian culture. Fair go. Australians believe in the right to a fair go regardless of a person's background. We believe everyone should be treated with respect, equality and fairness. Play by the rules. Australian is governed by many laws, rules and regulations, and all are expected to follow rules. Easygoing. Aussies are known to be laid-back and easygoing. Workplaces can be easygoing as long as the job is done and policies and procedures are followed. Respect for democracy. Australians value human rights and freedom of democracy. Mateship. A culture that embodies equality, loyalty and friendship, which is a very important part of Australian life. Aussie humour. To be an Aussie means having a good sense of humour. It is a part of Australian culture. Not meant to offend but to add lighter touch to a conversation and make situation less tense.
Australian work culture. While Australia is a very casual country, it's important to be punctual and arrive on time to begin your work day and to meetings. Depending on the industry, the dress code may vary, so it's always a good idea to dress to impress. Aussies respect our colleagues regardless of job titles and positions. Australians highly value a balance between working and our personal life. Leisure and family time are cherished, and many Aussies will try to leave the office on time. Employers will also often encourage this work-life balance, as employees are encouraged to use their annual and personal leave. Be prepared to do the hard yakka. Known for their ability to knuckle down and get things done, Australians often rank high in the world's longest working weeks. It's not just about clocking in the hours, but doing the hard yakka, which means putting in genuine effort to complete things efficiently. Australians don't shy away from difficult tasks and prefer those who tackle challenges with a positive can-do attitude.
Respect the work-life balance. Despite their hard work, Aussies place a high value on their time away from the office. The standard work schedule is around 38 hours, allowing for a balance between professional and personal life. It's not unusual to see Australians socialising after work, even on weekdays. Setting aside dedicated family time is also a high priority. This means time is of the essence while you're on the clock. Being on time for meetings, appointments and social occasions is a sign of respect, while lateness is generally frowned upon.
Be clear and don't beat around the bush. Australians are renowned for their openness and straightforward communication style. Being direct means you can't beat around the bush, and this approach is often preferred. Unlike some cultures where authority figures shouldn't be questioned, Australians encourage active participation from everyone. Always keep it respectful, but don't hesitate to share your thoughts and ideas. Also, be prepared to ask questions if you don't understand something.
Connect with your colleagues. Building relationships beyond the office can be important in Australian workplaces. Don't be surprised if your team invites you for lunches or after-work drinks. This is a way of strengthening team bonds. Language and humor are also used to bring people together. Playful and light-hearted banter is common and considered a sign of camaraderie rather than disrespect. Newcomers should be open to participating in workplace socializing.
Embrace the fair go mentality. In Australia, the concept of a fair go emphasizes giving everyone equal opportunities for success. Being culturally sensitive is essential in embracing the fair go ethos. Respect for diverse backgrounds and perspectives is highly valued. Embrace the cultural differences within your workplace and contribute to creating an inclusive environment that celebrates all backgrounds. The fair go mentality also extends to opportunities for growth and development. Recognition and progression are based on skills and contributions rather than favoritism. Take on challenges, demonstrate your capabilities, and be proactive in seeking opportunities for career advancement.
What to avoid when dealing with an Australian. Avoid stereotyping. Australians value authenticity and may take offence to stereotypes about their culture, accent, or lifestyle. Be cautious with humour. Australians often use sarcasm and dry humour. While this can be engaging, be careful not to misinterpret it or come off as disrespectful. Respect the tall poppy syndrome. Australians tend to value humility and may not respond well to excessive bragging or self-promotion. Avoid overly formal language. Australians generally prefer a more laid-back and informal style of communication. Using overly formal language may create distance. Be mindful of sports rivalries. Sports, particularly Australian rules football and cricket, can be a sensitive topic due to strong rivalries. Avoid making negative comments about popular teams. Cultural sensitivity. Be respectful of Indigenous Australian culture and history. Avoid making insensitive jokes or comments about these topics. Avoid talking politics too early. While Australians are generally open to discussing politics, it can be a divisive topic. Gauge the comfort level before diving into political discussions.
Knowledge check. Prepare a piece of paper for a brief 5-question exam. You have a minute to answer each question.
Where does Australian culture derived from? A. American. B. Aborigines. C. British. D. New Zealand.
What do Australians value? A. Money and power. B. Love interest. C. Work and career. D. Authenticity and sincerity.
Australians are generally A. Laid back and casual, B. Moody and grumpy, C. Relaxed and lazy, D. Compassionate and romantic.
The largest non-government provider of health and education services in Australia. A. Roman Catholic, B. Christians, C. Baptist, D. Politicians.
Means to put genuine effort to get a task done efficiently. A. Hard work, B. Hard yakka, C. Hard yakka, D. Hard chokka.
Let's see how did you do. 1. C. British. 2. D. Authenticity and sincerity. 3. A. Laid back and casual. 4. A. Roman Catholic. 5. C. Hard yakka.